Hello, my name is Ed Frawley. I own Leerburg with my wife. I've got a good question and answer here, and maybe this is a little too detailed for this format, but I'll kick at the cat and see what we can do to talk about it, because it's, again, probably something that other people have run into. And this concerns a person that has a 6-year-old rescued Pitbull. They've had it for 2 years. I'll read the question and then we'll talk about it, and talk about it a little bit as we go through it too. And again, you don't need to be a customer of Leerburg to send Cindy a question on the front page of Leerburg.com. We'll do what we can to answer questions. Sometimes some of them, like this, may require Cindy to go back and ask more questions to get a little more detail, to give more information. But let me go into this. My dog tugs and shakes aggressively and wants to run off with a tug and kill it. How do I get my dog to calm down a little around the tug and play nicely? She's a rescue pit bull that was used for breeding, not fighting. She lived her life in a crate and was severely undernourished when I got her. She's terrified of most men. She's around 6 years old. I've had her for 2 years. It's terrible when you stop and think about what kind of a life this dog probably had. They ought to take the assholes that do this and put them in a crate. Let them live in a crate. Put them in jail. Let them live in jail. Then they'll think about it. She didn't know how to learn or even how to play when I got her. I've worked with her a lot and she's doing really well. However, she's absolutely obsessed with the ball. She had a very high prey drive, so anything I throw, she will go after. But if it's not the ball, she turns around and ignores it, leaves it, and comes back to me. The problem with the retrieve game is that it doesn't help her learn to check in with me. My goal with her is to get her to check in with me more and worry less about what else is going on in the outside world. When we walk to go outside, she rarely checks in with me unless I have a ball or she thinks I have a ball, and then nothing else matters. I purchased a tug training course because I thought it would help her engage more with me. We do have a course, and what she bought was The Power of Training Tug with Your Dog. Probably that has good information for her, but that course is not a course to teach engagement. We have another course on teaching engagement. And bottom line is, sometimes people need to get more than one course to solve the problem with their dog. It'd be cool if I could sell and produce a course on how to train your dog that was only 2 hours long. I tried that back in 1982, it didn't work. Terrible video, only sold it for a little while. Anyway, back to this. The problem is, as with all her stuffed toys, she shakes them and really hard, and then she tries to tear them apart. I've not let her do this with the tug, but she gets more and more agitated when I don't let her kill the tug. If I tug for a short period and then move away and call her, she drops the tug and comes after me. She loses interest in this game pretty quickly, even though I pick up on the toy and start the game all over again. After just 5 or 6 tugs, she loses interest in the tug altogether. Unless I hold on to the tug longer, then she gets amped up again and again. Got to give this person credit for trying. They're really trying to do the right thing with this dog. I'm so impressed with it. Because when she's trying to kill the tug, she shakes it hard enough that I can't hold it still. She's so strong. She will not let go when I try and hold it still. By that I mean in our course on the power of playing tug with your dog. There are multiple ways to teach a dog to out a toy, out a tug, come off of a bite if it's biting in a biting dog sport, stop biting if it's a police dog. One of those ways is to just, if this were the tug and the dog's playing, lock it up. The dog likes to play because it likes to fight and jerk around like her dog is doing here. One of the things that we tell people or show people how to do is lock it up, no more play. When we ask them to stop, we have them stop. We hold it, they can't play. And that's what she's trying to do, but that's hard to do for a smaller person and a strong dog. So they have to use different methods or play different games. If she is amped up with the ball, when the ball is present, and I think the same would eventually become true with the tug, unless I can get her to settle down around the tug. When she's in this amped up state, she can't really listen to what I'm asking her to do. And that is true. It's a learned process to teach a dog. We call it capping a behavior. Basically, that just means a dog is expected to keep control of itself in the face of a highly distracted environment or item. So you have to teach a dog to cap its behavior. We'll talk a little bit about that later. And that's what she has a problem here. This dog hasn't learned to contain himself or herself. Instead, when she's in this amped up behavior, she will go through the list of commands that she knows. For example, she will sit, she will down, then she will return to heel position, etc., etc. Anything to get that ball back. She has no patience when the ball is present. Do you have any tips on how to get her to calm down when she's chasing or tugging so that I can have fun games to use as a tool for our training process? Well, we're not dealing with a puppy here. We're dealing with a dog that's been allowed to live probably a tough life for 6 years, at least 4 of the 6 years. So it's been allowed to practice bad behavior. There's the old story you can say as a dog trainer, if you teach your dog right the first way, it's so much quicker. But once you allow your dog to practice bad behavior for a while, to retrain it to the behavior you want can take 100 times more work than it did to train it the behavior the right way the first time. So this person has to retrain this dog to be what she wants it to be. And I keep saying she, and I'm not sure it's a she, it could be a male. The fact is that when you have a dog that's genetically predisposed to have this kind of prey drive, it might not be possible to take that out of the dog because it's the nature of the dog. It's what this dog has done for years. Now, you can do things like what we would do is take our tugs that have handles on them and put them on a leash. And then we could play tug that way. So the dog's not jerking us all around. And it can be hard for a smaller person or somebody that's really not in top physical condition to control a strong pit bull. Take that tug, put it on a leash. You can play tug that way. You can work your way up the tug and grab it, play a little bit, release it, hold the leash. So that also teaches the dog that you can become part of the game. It doesn't always have to be yank, yank, yank when you have it. You can let her have it. You can play tug, do this, grab a hold of it just for a second, little tug, let her have it. So that's a new game that the dog can learn, and it can learn to like that game. So since you're not trying to train a dog to be a competitive working dog, you don't need to use the same kind of games that people that are trying to teach competitive dogs have to use. Make up your own game. Think outside the box a little bit. You've done this for 2 years. Play with her. See what you can come up with. This sounds like a really, really cool dog. And It can take months, and I mean months, to work with a dog, have a game plan in your head, and work towards that game plan. I mean, one of the toys that we use with our dog are these round puller toys, and we'll put a picture on the screen right now. Cindy's dog, Artie, is obsessed with that round puller toy. It can be thrown, it can be used as a tug toy. She goes out every single day and multiple times a day, most days, and plays with Art's tug toy. When she goes for a walk, he's got it in his mouth all the time, and that may be an idea for you. Take a ball, put it on a string, play tug with it. Could be a longer string, play tug with it. Take your dog for a walk, teach it to walk with the ball in its mouth. So it learns to calm down. It's got its ball, have it on a leash. The ball can have the string on it, but you have the dog on a leash and walk it around. Start with short walks around your house, try and or around your yard. Extend that out. So without having the dog in front of me, I'm trying to make up ideas here on what you can try. But every dog is different. You have to work with the dog that's sitting in front of you. There are no rules in dog training. But try those puller toys because they are good. One of the best toys that we've seen in a long, long time. I mean, there's a video, and maybe I should put it at the end of this little video of Cindy she has a pack of these pullers laying around. One day she was out in our front yard, and there was 7 or 8 pullers there. And Art, on his own, has learned how he can grab a puller with his mouth and flip it, and it goes over his head. Well, he did it, and Cindy praised him. Oh, there's another one. So he grabbed that one and put it over his head. She didn't train him to do that. He figured it out on his own. And he put 7 of those over his neck, all in the same little session. That's an obsessed dog. But it's a dog that loves to play. That's his toy. Maybe this person can teach this dog what the puller toy is so that it doesn't have to use the ball anymore. Let that go away if you can build a fun game with a puller toy. Just an idea to try. One thing I should mention is that on a Pitbull, these puller toys come in different sizes. We use the 11-inch, it's a large puller. They come in a set of 2. They're smaller ones that come together. We wouldn't recommend the little one for a Pitbull. Get the one that we use with Artie.
Wait. Okay. Good. 3. 4. 5. 6. Get it. 7.